welcome Meitayo, welcome Bimeleke, welcome Lawal, welcome Mbim, welcome Oluwashio, Olalikon, Tosin and Shugo once again. It's an amazing time this evening to gather together to learn again. And welcome to the Everything on Data session, our concluding session from our Excel workshop from a previous class. So it's a privilege to welcome everyone once again this evening. Okay, as you know that this evening we'll be concluding the session which we started previously, and we have our first course not to take much of our time this evening. First, I want to know if you are ready, or do we still have any other thing to do before we commence today's session?
Not at all. We can get started so that we have time to do what we
Okay,
have before us. Yeah.
okay,
I've started
all
recording
right,
already, so
okay, all right. That's fine. That's fine. So we all know as we all gathered together again as Everything on Data community group. So it's another set time for us again to conclude our session, which we have started already. So without taking much of our time this evening, we'll just continue with our facilitator who started with us last week to continue with the session. I'm sure, please, how many of us were present during the last session? Please, if you are present during the last session, can you please unmute and respond, please?
Yeah, present.
Okay, Gbemileke one. Do we have any other person who was also present during the last session? Any other person who was present during the last session? Okay, okay. I see only Gbemileke responded. So for others, if that were not present, the link to join was actually shared on. The link to watch the recorded session of the previous session was actually shared on the community group. So I guess we can just take it up from there. Then we'll continue with today's session. As long as this session is also recorded also. From now on, all recorded session will be posted on our YouTube channel. So everyone can go to our YouTube channel, follow us on our YouTube channel, subscribe on our YouTube channel rather. So once you subscribe, you'll be able to get notification of all our trainings and link to watch them on our YouTube page. So that's all we'll be doing from now on. So for those who couldn't join the previous session, the link to the previous one is on the community group. So you can go there to watch them, follow for today's session. So this evening also, I can see we even have our founder on board this evening. So great. This is a great privilege this evening. A wonderful evening for every one of us on the community platform. Anyone who is not here today is missing. Is going to miss a great time this evening. Really, really going to miss. So let's make welcome of our founder, our very, very, very beautiful and our data guru, as I do call her, our amazing and wonderful founder of Everything on Data, Madam Mojisola Olawepo. Please let's welcome her. You're welcome, ma. Let's hear from you again after a very long time.
All right, thank you. I just decided to join. Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon. Is it? What's the time? Evening. Okay. Good evening, everyone. And I'm really excited to be here. I actually joined because I wanted to encourage everybody, right? Or rather, encourage the leaders and everybody that is joining to continue to join our training, right? Because these trainings, they are not ordinary, and we're not just doing it because we want to tick a box. We are doing it because the purpose and the reason is because so that we can get to the goal that we aspire to achieve in our, everyday life, either data or something like that. Somebody just sent me a message that I forgot to the timing. Yes, we are 1 hour behind where I am. So it's 4, I think some minutes past 4. Yes, so that's why I missed the time. All right, so I want to encourage everybody, right? I've told Esther that I would like to talk to have engagement with the whole, community group, because I really want to. I'm looking at also how I can help other people to attain their vision and aspirations in the field of analytics. for I've moved from that point of, okay, everybody come and start joining and coming for training. I am now at that level where I want to start seeing everybody get into positions and roles that they can only dream of, and believing that they can achieve something, right? So it doesn't become any dream. So thanks for having me here. Um, Again, I want to say thanks to everybody on the call today. I see you all, Shogo. I can see you, Tosin, Imbim. It's been a while, Imbim. It's been a while. It's been yes. So I'm seeing some very old members on the call today. Thank you for being here, and I hope that you are able to grab everything grabbable from this session. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Ma. It's a very great privilege to have you on this session this evening. We really appreciate. Thank you for your time. Thank you for encouraging us all to actually always be the best of ourselves. Really appreciate it. Thanks for always pushing us and always encouraging us all to do what is right for us to do. So, without wasting much of our time this evening, our facilitator on ground will actually continue with from where we stopped with previous class. So, Tosin, you can actually take the floor now. Thank you.
All right, Esther, thank you. Our founder, Madam Mujisola, it's good to hear your voice again. Thank you for giving us one or two piece of words to go with. Please let's confirm that you can all hear me. Yes, okay. Thumbs up. Yes.
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. So in our someone is raising up hand. So in our last workshop, the part one of this Excel, I mentioned the fact that fine, we are all gurus in Excel. I have my teachers too on this platform. So it's just an avenue for us to learn from one another and grow. That's just the purpose. So for those that have the privilege to be with our system, we can work alongside, and like it has been mentioned, the recording will be sent. So today is the part two. Last week we were able to, that was 2 weeks ago now, we're able to look at how we can automate our files, our document from the folder, which we did a lot on Power query editor in Excel. I know a lot of us are used to Power BI and the likes, but Excel is still the basis. So we've established that and we already have that file. So we now said that okay, today we want to do a bit of how we can actually get to see some insights from which we can bring from our data sets, then look at some analysis that we can do. Okay, so with that, I'll just be sharing my screen, then try to bring up the data again, the data set up again now. We look at it from there. So let me share my screen, that screen, so that by the time we are okay, it's coming up. Okay. All right. I think my screen is shared now. So this is the data set that we were working on. Call it sales data. So good afternoon, good evening, good morning from wherever you are joining us from. So let me use it that way so that I won't miss the timing like my oga missed it earlier. So can someone confirm that you can see the data set now so that I just go ahead? So a brief summary. Okay, please open my screen. This data set is seen.
Yeah, yes,
Okay,
you can see your screen.
okay, thank you. So we have this data set in folder. I remembered I still showed us. So we have the folder, then we're able to use Power Query or Query Editor to bring it from this folder. Then we actually automated it by adding the rest of this one to it. So that is in the first recording. Because of our time, we won't go back to it. And I told us that as many of us who work with monthly reports and you do this, so you won't have to start doing it all over again. I had the challenge the first 4 years of my career, and if I had known this, I think it would have been actually helped me a lot. So which is a good one for us. So having had this data, we've been able to bring it together and combine it. If you still want to add more, just copy the new ones. So you want to do reports for November, October now, just take the folder of October, go and put it where you already imported this data from. By the time you come back to this data set, click refresh, it will populate the new ones you are just adding. So you don't have to start doing all over again. So we're now like, oh, okay, what are those things that we can actually do with this data set, having all of this data set? So I just hope we'll be able to go as far as possible. Please, if you have any question in between, let's feel free to ask at any point in time. So we have this data set and we're like, oh, okay, let's do some maybe data exploration. We already know how many rows we have, how many columns do we have. We want to know the number of rows, number of columns. I know we are used to all of this. So you have your count A and your counter function. This one counts the number of cells that are not empty. But if you use the count function, you see that it counts the number of cells that contains number. So meaning that if you have text and number mixed together, there's one that will pick or there's one that will not pick all the information that you wanted. So this is the row. So I can select all of this and say, oh, how many rows do I have in that set? So I have 41,266 rows. So that's the number of rows we have, which we already established in our data merge the last time. Then we want to look at the number of columns that we have. The same way we can do that. So we have 10 columns in our data set. So this is just trying to see how large or small our data might look. And we remember that for columns, Excel has about 16,304, if I'm not mistaken. That's over 16,000 columns. But rows, it has over 1 million. This is it. So this is the number of rows. This is 1,048,576 rows that Excel can take. And I mentioned the fact that when your data set exceeds this number of rows, you have to, I don't know, for our gurus, they might tell us later the new ways to do it. For me, I noticed that if you begin to work with it, that's why you see most of those data set that are being shared with you that has exceeded this number of rows, they come in CSV format, the comma separated value format. So meaning that if you use Excel, it will truncate it, but if you are importing maybe to Power BI with CSV or text format, it will be able to take everything and work with data set that as much as 5 million rows, 8 million rows. So with Excel, you will not be able to do the full analysis of that data set, because once it exceeds this number of rows, it will remove the rest of the data that you have. Now it's okay, let's look at it. We have this is sales data, like we already established. We have named our data to say sales data. Okay, what can we deduce from this? What are the information that we can bring out from it? We have revenue, we have quantity, meaning that we can begin to look at, in which region are we having more sales? In which region are we having more of the activities, quantity? And I established something here last week saying that you might be selling a lot in terms of quantity, and at the end of the day, you are not making much. So I use this scenario to say that, someone that is selling pencil, eraser, and etc. By the time he sells 20 and you are looking at it maybe 1,000, it's giving you 20,000 for example, all put together. and someone that sells this scientific calculator Casio is selling maybe 5 at the rate of 6,000 per month, the person has sold more. So most times it's advisable to look at the revenue aspect of it to be able to deduce to say, oh, Mr. A sells better or generates better revenue than Mr. B. They want to look at revenue by year, by quarter, by month. So if you go by this data, actually is what you can still do by the time we start our Power Query editor. But on the other hand, we can do some little transformation to say, oh, you want to see the months. So I know we have several functions, but let's just go with this. We have your text, there's what we call the text function. Let me zoom my screen so that it becomes bigger. I think it's better now, right? So let me zoom my screen so that you can see it. Text function. So the text function is saying you have to take the value and the format that you want it. So I'll go to my date. What I want trying to achieve. I want to look at what month of the year is this. They say format. By the time you want to do for month, just quote your MMM in 4 places so that you have a full month. Ensure to quote it, close it. You see? So April and the like. So if I click this filter down, you see April, August is being able to identify the month from the date. You see. So why is it here that despite that we have over 40,000 rows, we are getting all the result at once is because I've converted this range of cells to a table, and I mentioned to us previously that if you have, okay, for example, we have this now, and if I say this one should multiply this one, now you see when I did that last week, it's going to give me one by one. It's not going to give me the odd result except I start dragging down. Okay, but assuming I've converted this to a table, you see Control T, it will create a table, and once your table has header, you tick this box. If not, you leave it unchecked. So I check it. You see now it has converted to a table which is similar to what we have here, and that's why once you do the first row, the rest rows, even if it's million rows, will populate. If I say I want to look for the product of this and this now, by the time I'm doing one, it's giving me result for others. So that is the essence of converting your data set first and foremost to what? To a table. Okay, we have done the month. Let's look at, oh, we want to look at the day. Okay, days. Oh, let me say, okay, text function. Okay, so is it a Monday? Is it a Tuesday? 1st of April 2014. Is it a Monday? Is it a Tuesday? So quote that days, then close it. You see? So that is a Tuesday. So it's going to give us, we can begin to look, okay, if we finally do our analysis, which day of the week are we having the highest sales? So that's another thing. Okay, you want to look and say, okay, maybe I'll be working with year. So for the year too, like I said too, there are other functions that we can use to bring all of this together. So for those of us that are used to that too, is fine. So the year, so you quote your Y in 4 places. So why am I doing this? If I had quoted this my month in 3 places, it gives me abbreviation. You see, if I do 2 places, it's going to give me number to say 4 and the likes, or 1. So that's why, and this one is similar to you saying, okay, so see it's going to give you 111. This function here is similar to you saying month of that particular year. It will still give you the same result. You see it's 4444. So there are several functions like I said. So I prefer to get my information maybe full. Let me make it full. April, May, June and the likes. So the days as well. So what else can we look like? We want to look at revenue by year, by quarter, month, day, the quantity as well, region with highest sales. So let's start. So we want to do some pivot analysis. pivot table, pivot chart. So all you need to do is, as time go, if we need more information, we'll come back to it. So once you say click on anywhere in your data set, then we'll go to our insert. Please, for those that are following, if I'm too fast, you are doing it on your system and you want to follow, it's a workshop. Please, if I'm too fast, call my attention, let me know, just the way we did 2 weeks ago, and I believe it was interactive as well. So you see now, the name of the data set, they say clean data, you see it. So that's why it's picking it. We already named it clean data. So it has picked all information, everything from beginning to the end, you can see. So I want it in a new sheet, that's a pivot table in a new sheet. Okay, let me label this a pivot table or pivot chart, whatever it is, pivot. So because I will have the table and the chart there as well. So what do we want to do? The first and foremost, let's look at what is the total revenue that we have. Let me minimize a bit so that you can see it. If you look at it from here, I can come here and just put alt equals to, it will give me the total sum of revenue. You can see it, alt equals to. So that's about 97,607,404,680. See, that's the total revenue generated. You can also look at it for the you see, because this thing already has a formula in it, by the time I click this drop down and I say give me the sum, so this is the quantity that we have, 1,054,025. So the quantity of units sold. Okay, so that's another way you can do that. So I press Control minus now, it has removed the information that I had before. So these are some of the shortcuts that we can use to quickly arrive at some. Okay, I said let me look at the total revenue. I just come here, go to revenue. So this is the total revenue. I can change it to say total revenue. So why I'm building this is such that by the time I want to start our pivot table, our dashboard later on, it's going to be dynamic and be able to link the dashboard to this particular table here. We have our information that we have. Okay, we've been able to do this. Now let's look at how many I can copy and paste here. I want to look at the quantity. So I remove this units sold here. Okay, so this is the units sold, total units or quantity sold, units sold. Okay, that's fine. We've been able to get that. You can also look at the average. So from here, total, you can come here and change the value setting to average. See it. So all of these are preliminary. So you see it here. As I selected the column where you have your revenue, you see that it's giving me the average, it's giving me the number of rows, and it's giving me total revenue. Okay, so as we move on, we want to look at revenue by year or month or whatever. Okay, now let me change this back to my total revenue. So I want to look at it vis-a-vis the month. Okay, before I jump to month, let me start from here. The date. Okay, let's look at the year. So I just come. I've already done year. Let's look at if I've not even done the year. Transaction dates. Okay, so you see transaction date is bringing it now. You can break it down. I move transaction date directly. So I have 2014 and 2015. These are the 2 years that we have in our data set. And with this, it's been able to give us each quarter. Oh, we can look at the trend and say, okay, what's happening? In 2014, quarter 1, 2, and 4 actually did better than quarter 3. Then as a data analyst, you can look at that period of the year, look at the sales that actually went out. What did we sell most? What did we not sell? What could be responsible for those low sales? where we didn't generate much revenue. But in 2015, if you look at it by percentage, they are closely related. But however, quarter 4 of that year and quarter 5 and quarter 1 had better sales compared to 2 and 3. And in these 2 unique year, you see it in 2015, it was quarter 2 that did least. In 2014, it was quarter 3 that did least. So a lot of questions can even begin to arise from all of these figures that we are seeing. Okay, but let me now use the year that we created initially to say, okay, we already have a year to make it easier for us. Year, see it. So this is for the year. So alone, can begin to look at it individually. So this is it, 2014, 2015. So now, because we've been able to break it down, let me now mix it up. This is year, this is year and quarter, this average revenue. So this year and quarter, yes. So we can begin to look at to say, oh, okay, what are the inferences? You see that they are still close. 2015 still did better. We'll do the chart now. Then we can look at this revenue again by saying region. Okay, let me do months. Let me do month before moving to region. Month. So for month, we want to know which of the month did best and which one did least. What could be the reason? What are the unique sales for each of these months? So we can see that January, September, December had lower sales compared to others. So we can begin to think of what might be the reason. Now that will now be based on what are the items that are even being sold if you have access to it in each of these stores across Nigeria. What are the major items that are being sold? So line of business, you can see copier sale, parts, printer sale, service plan. You get all of it. These are the things that are being sold. Please, I hope I'm still online and audible. Please let me know. Yes, it's quiet. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shomes. Thank you. Okay, I think that gives me an idea to go ahead. So you can see all of that. So we'll begin to drill down and look at it to say, okay, what are those things? Why are we having more of this copier sales today, more of the parts and all of that? So we are able to see that month on month, then we'll do the chart as well. So that even as these things are changing, the total revenue still remains the same to give us the fact that we are not missing anything out. 97 billion is still the same when you look at the total for all of this information. So by weekday, we want to see to make my work easy, I'm just copying this and pasting it down here. Okay, I want to look at it by weekday. Which day of the week do we have the best sales? So weekdays. So you can see Monday, Tuesday, all through Sunday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, their sales are better than Saturdays compared to Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So these are a bit of the inferences you might want to look at. So we've done that. We want to look at which region is doing better. We have 6 regions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So which of the regions do we have good sales that are generating more revenue? So we can go by and say, okay, let's look at our region. Okay, so region, northeast did highest, followed by southwest, was followed by, you see, south, southeast, northwest, and the list is north central. Okay, why? So as analysts, either data, financial analysts, operational analysts, HR analysts, whatever form of that, because in every sector we have analysts. Even in the medical sector, we have analysts. So, but depending on the data you are working with, you can now begin to think and look at what are the possibilities, what are the whys, because there are a lot of whys. Okay, why is this? Why did this happen? Why, when did it happen? What is the reason behind it? How did it happen? So your how and your W's, your why, when, what, where, and all of that comes into place. But a lot of why will always come in to say, why is this one like this? So we have looked at the region. Let me change this to region so that I don't mix it up while we are doing an analysis. So these are some of the things we are still doing a pivot table. Then we want to look at the stores. Okay, in terms of stores, where we have which store is doing much well. So this one is across the sea is much. See it? So I said we now want to later group to say okay which we have already done here. So I think the one we did here as region is better. So you can look, these are the stores. So I think these are the locations where they have those sales. I have 132 stores across Nigeria for this particular data set. You can see it from my count here. So a lot of information goes into this. If I look at the market, so the market, I have 23, 22 market places. You can also look at the market. So this market now is like the location, or let me say the states. So they use markets, but looking at the data set, you can see that these are the states, Abia, Adamawa, all of that. So which of them actually contributed to all of these sales? You can see Ekiti with 7.39 million, Abia and all of. So a lot of things as when we look at your data set, you begin to look at it row by row. This is transaction day, the region, the marketplace, the store. You look at the model, the parts. Okay, let's look at what line of business. Good. What line of business, then day of category do we have all of this. So these are the first things you might want to extract out from your data set. So I want to look at the line of business. Okay. Let me see on my business. Okay, line of business. Okay, business line. So we see copier sets and parts. Service plan. See, so service plan generated more revenue. Then printer sales, parts, copier sales. Now, if you look at all of this, it is essential that whoever is maybe operating all of this or using it or selling it, we definitely have to service. That's just my own intuition. What you could infer might be different. So the fact that all of these machines at a time, mechanical issues might happen, normal servicing issue might happen, or it could be one breakdown, the other, you have to return back to the supplier and see, okay, what is happening. So you see the service plan, you have to service, even in our homes. At, at times, maybe in 3 months, depending on the usage of your generator, you have to do servicing and all of that. You have bought the generator, fine. So the servicing is essential so that one day the engine will not just knock off, and by the time you hear half engine is about 200,000, you'll be like, I think I need to go and buy a new one in this economy. So these are things that we want to look. So I think this day category for them, they have work day, they have public holiday. Okay, let me just do that one before we now look at some chart and see how far we can go. So line of business, day category, okay. So from them, so on local holidays, they have the least revenue generated 188 million. Observance is 16, except I later Google, I don't know what they mean by this observance on its own. Public holidays, they have 2.5. Then season, then work days. So on a very good business days, they have a lot of revenue generated. So there are some seasons that people will not go out to buy anything, it's fine. Public holidays too, Public holiday, people want to rest at times. There's no need to do so. So it depends. So it depends on the business. So another thing is the objective of the business. We need to know it by the time we are dealing with our clients. Then what's the line of the business? What's the scope of business? So we need to understand it. That will also give us insight to oh the things that we begin to reason out, so that by the time we do our analysis and want to make recommendation to the stakeholders who are in charge of this business, we can be able to make the good recommendation to say, okay, based on the data set and the line of business, this and this and these are what are responsible for your high sales. These and these and these are what are responsible for your low sales. Okay, this is what we could recommend for you to do going forward. So this is yes, someone want to say something, please. I think someone was trying to communicate. Please, you are free. I might not see your hand if your hand is raised up, but I know I have leaders who are also helping me to check. But if peradventure you raise up your hand, nobody is calling, please you can unmute and just come in before I go too far. Please, it's allowed. It's a workshop. I'm not just teaching, we are learning together. So all right. So let's stop here for okay, let me just do quantity by maybe just the year. Let me do quantity. So it's let's see, so that we'll not do revenue alone. We have quantity as well. So it's possible one year is selling more and at the end of the day it's the other year that's making more revenue depending on whatever is at stake. So 49 billion, 48 billion, then 537,517. Okay, so they are still close. So these units sold and like that. So we can begin to now work with all of this. Let me do the monthly units sold. Okay, so let's see. We said in our revenue, which year was doing best, the month was doing best. We look at the list was January, September, December. But in terms of quantity, I said they still same. You can see it now. See, December had more than July in terms of quantity. Look at, and it had more than April. But in terms of revenue, April was doing better than December. July did better than December. You see it. So that's trying to come in line with the illustration I did there. That you sold 20 quantities of pencil eraser does not mean the revenue you generated is more than when you sold 5 calculators, which unit price is 6,000 compared to the one that has unit price of 1,000. So that practically is displaying here if you are looking at the revenue vis-a-vis the quantity. So here the revenue was low, but now look at the quantity is much compared to even when you had high revenue. Alright, that being said as well, so we have how will I put it, chart. So when you want to represent your data set with chart, so we also need to look at how best to do it. Like this one that I'm having and monthly uh data set. So the best chart or graph to use is a line chart. So line chart helps to tell the work best for line of trend. You want to look at a trend over a particular period of time, it's good to use a line so it'll be able to tell you. Then when you have 2 factors or maximum of 3, you can still use your pie chart. But when it gets to about 5, I would advise we use a bar chart or a column chart so that you can see it distinctively. So that's another thing. So we'll still come back when we are linking all of these. So this one now is a mixture of 2 things. Let's see how we want to insert. So we have our chart. If I go by saying recommended chart, just giving me this to say okay, we can still change it. We can still build our own if you don't mind. So now this is giving me to say 2014. This is the trend. You see it. So year 2014, year 2015. You can see. So obviously it's showing anybody you send this one to, even without showing them this table, you just present this chart and with it you are saying oh, for this line of business, this is what you observe in quarter one. It started well, it went up quarter two, in quarter three it dropped drastically. Then you now begin to imagine what could be wrong, what could be the reason for this sales. If I try to say okay, let me remove this, I want to see more of the table, let me remove this legend now to say okay, let me put the data label, but I will change the formatting on data label, format data label. Okay, I want to use the million separator. I don't want to use the individual number. Values legends. Format as is. Okay, so minimum maximum display units is in billion. Let me use it this way. Good. So I'm going to label it. Okay. So once I put my data label, I will ensure that I'm putting it to say this is in billion as this chart title. Okay. Because I've changed it so that they will not see it to say is this five whatever. So this is the let me say quarterly revenue generated. So please remember is in billion. Let's use our naira. It's in billion. So that whoever is reading this data knows that these figures are in billions and not in millions or thousand. Because if I leave it the other way I left it the other time, it's going to be too clumsy on my data set. Depends on how you want to do it. And for me, I don't like using a line, so I prefer to remove the grid lines. I don't like using grid lines. Format grid lines. I don't want grid lines, no grid lines. So thank you. So here too is in billions, so it's established. I can decide to remove all of these, hide all feed buttons. So that's is so this is that for this. Okay, for our year, like I said, it's advisable. Let's use our pie chart. We are comparing just two things, but most time I prefer the donut chart. Donut chart. So okay, we need this definitely because we need to be able to see which year is yearly contribution. Obviously this one is in percentage. So now let's put the data and change it to percentage. Let me remove all of this. Yearly contribution. Where's my mouse now? Let me reduce the font size too big. 10. Okay, because I want the main this thing to show. I don't want. Okay, so I can look at this and say okay. Now data label, put the data label for me. So I can format my data label and say give me percentage instead of the value. It makes it more presentable. So from here we can see to say it's almost 50-50. Let me put it in decimal. Let me put it in decimal. Format data label. Where's my decimal? I don't want to use whole number. So, okay. Because it's close, but it's not exactly 50-50. Command data label, value, agent, okay. Custom. Excuse me. Let's see. Okay. No, I don't want this. I want this. Come back to that. Okay. Now undo. I'll come back to that. I might use another this thing to because I've used whole number. Okay. So why is this one that I now needed? Okay, let me come back to it. It's supposed to allow me edit these figures so that I have it directly and not having to enter decimal place. Okay, I will still come back. So this one trend, insert line trend. So like I said, we're all learning together. There's no teacher here. If you can quickly remember where I need to make the difference of this 2014 and 2015, I want this my figure to show in two decimal places or maybe one decimal place so that I can have the real value because one is still higher than one. So please you can just unmute and speak out. So let's learn together. I have my guys on the call. I don't want to mention name, please. Hello, can anybody still hear me? Because it's quiet. Oh, I'm not getting response unlike last week. Oh. Let's confirm that we are still together. Oh.
Yes, we can hear you. If you
Okay.
try and do the format, if you go to format, I think you should be able to format the data to 2 decimal place.
So it's not showing it's showing it blank here. This is where it's supposed to actually edit. You see? We're showing it blank here. So that's why I wanted to use this other one.
Can you format that out there? Let me see.
Okay. Use it here. So,
Yeah. Check the number there on the right here.
okay.
Yeah. Scroll down.
Yeah, these are the two. Yeah, just the
Yeah.
two format code.
Under general.
Yes.
Go to custom.
That's
So
okay.
just
I
customize
click
it.
that the other time.
Yeah.
So you can also select the
It's,
type.
it's there where you can
I've
yeah.
checked. That was what I checked the other time. See what it changed it to 1 and
Oh,
0.
okay.
So I know that it's obvious that 1 is more than 1. So okay. Maybe okay, maybe as we think about it, because obviously one is more than the other one. Okay, let's not waste time. So from our end, please let's check. Mr. Paul, I need you here. Look at it from your hand. Please let's get how we'll change this value back. Ordinarily, it should have changed from here, but I don't know why it's not highlighting it from my own end. That's why I wanted us to check from our end so that from here we can put the decimal at this place I'm putting my mouse. Okay, not to waste our time, let's go ahead. So we have this 49 minutes, we have 1 minute 10. So this is the line trend monthly revenue. Okay, so like I said, I don't want this grid line. Okay, let me format this. Let's see, it's in billions. So that I want to hide all of this. Okay, so this is fine. This is the month, January, February, March up to December. So you can see the trend. Even from this trend, it's obvious that, oh, January, okay, let me use my line of business that I would do as a transport industry. We will see that the first 2 weeks of our business operation is always down. The reason because people that have gone on Christmas and New Year, maybe they travel out of Lagos, for instance, to the east or the southwest. The first week, a lot of people are not back to operation. So that month, we already figure out that our major operation is going to be 2 weeks of the total month. So we are not expecting much. It's the second week that you now see that, oh, people are now resuming back to their businesses, either personal business or they have to resume back to work, because some people will also take leave. So this is a kind of scenario that explain the kind of business I am. Then February, it will pick up because now everybody is back to Lagos from our villages and our cities and towns. March, it picks up. So what could be responsible in April? Okay, so if I'm looking at my own business as well, like I was mentioning, in April too, we do have this kind of drop because it's a season whereby students go on holiday. You get, I'm just using my own business line to explain now. Students go on holiday, so ridership drop. So the passengers that we carry that we from one location to the other, we call them ridership. So we use the term ridership. So ridership will drop. It's expected. We already foresee it right from the beginning of the year, even from budgeting and all. But in May, school has resumed by end of April. So in May, it picks up. June, it should pick up. So that's the difference between this business we are looking at here in this data and my own business. Because as at June, we are still in the business. July, we are still in it. So a bit of August is going to be down to the end of September. But it will pick again in October, just in this case. So we need to understand the business domain that you are working with when you have a data set is important. So that will help you by the time you want to start making your recommendation and inferences and looking at why and this, why that. So that's just some of the things that I just intend to chip in. So remember, this is in billions too. Fine. So please, if anyone sees where I was trying to do that, please call my attention to it. We are all learning here together. I will appreciate that. So these are monthly revenue. So even if you want to put the data set on it the way it is, it's fine. It should not be clumsy because I've reduced it. So if you want to put the value, rather the values, so we can see it here at a glance. So at times, if I'm putting this value on the line chart, I try to remove this one here on the left hand side. So in most cases, I try not to put this there, depending on your choice, not compulsory. So if you are using this, you remove this. But if you are putting the value on the line trend, so it's advisable we remove this so that we don't have a duplicate the value information. So just my own school of thought anyway. So that's that. Then we'll be able to do that. So weekdays as well. So you want to see which of the weekdays are doing good, better, where you have more sales and all of that. So that you can advise them to say, okay, this particular product or item, why not sell it on this day since you have more, import more and sell on this particular days. So it will also help the business. So that's another thing you might want to begin to look at and all. Okay, we've spent 54 minutes. I'll see how we can quickly go and see how we can build a brief dashboard with the little information we have. Okay, so this one, since you have like 7 days, 7 data set, you can also look at say okay, you might not want to use line chart depending, you can use your bar chart. So let's compare and see. So from there you can okay, if this is not doing it well, okay, let me see, you want to see this. So for me most times too, I still leave it that way and I use that. So this is the bar chart and this is the line chart. So if you are comparing it, whoever will feel that oh we speak more to the data to you, you can use. So I can decide to remove this and let me use this. Okay, so that when you are looking at it from a distance, you can say oh this is the total revenue by weekdays, by weekdays, and make it smaller. Don't want it to be too big. Yeah, the title come up higher, remove all of this information, double click, remove your grid line, format this one. Okay, so uh, okay, so from here you can see obviously data label that oh this particular day is where we have the peak of our revenue and the least is Thursday followed by Friday. So despite that Thursday and Friday are weekdays, why are we having less dis thing? So that too we can begin to think of why and why. In Lagos for example, I know market women dey observe their environmentals on people that sells majorly anywhere, Idumota or wherever it is, they will say Thursday is their environmental. For some markets or major markets, before they start operation is from 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Maybe prior to that time like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, some people have already made large sum of sale from the hours of 8 a.m. to that 10 and 11, and at 11 people are just coming out before they get to the market 1 o'clock and all. Just trying to look at what and what, why do we have this drop in sales for this particular date. So business domain understanding is important, the business objective and all of that. So North Central as well, this one is as also good as using our pie charts. So you want to use your pie chart, your column chart, you see. So it depends on what you feel like you want to use that suits the data set. So now I can't be putting too much. If I'm using a pie chart for this one, it's going to look extremely clumsy. Or I'm using pie chart for when you have your month and all of that, it's going to be clumsy. It will not depict or represent the information better the way I would have wanted it. So let's take notes of that. Okay, so um okay, so let's go ahead. Do we have all the six? Yes, so we have all the six. So this revenue by uh total revenue by region. Revenue by region. So you can begin to tell that oh for this line of business so region is doing best, so region is where you need to improve more. North Central, what happen? Are they not buying this particular item? Why are they not buying it? You can do some survey to look at reasons why they are not patronizing this particular market. And Northeast, look at it too. It's not totally north. If it's not in general, I would have said oh maybe there's a particular reason. So why is Northeast even doing the best for this particular product? and north central and northwest are not even close to. So why? So these are some of the tiny why questions we ask ourselves when we do all of these things format format data changing coming back to it. Then lastly, let's look at unit and just go and start. Okay, this one okay, unit sold. So this one too is still the same as our pie chart. That pie chart has not given me what I wanted. I still need to know what could be wrong. Do not insert data label. Add data label. Yes. Format data label. Percentage. Okay, so why is this one giving me and the one for donuts did not give me? So why did this one work and the one for the donut chart did not work? You can see it here now. So obviously 2015 had 51% of the total quantity sold, while 2014 total units sold. So while 2014 we are having 49% of the total units sold. Okay, alright. So this one too as well. So let's try and use this to represent what we have first. Please can you give me just 2 minutes, please? Emeka, Esther, please just 2 minutes. Let me pause. Please acknowledge so that I can stand up. Please can everyone give me 2 minutes maximum, please? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, 2 minutes, please. Just give me 2 minutes
Okay.
maximum. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm back. I'm back. Thank you. Can I go ahead? Yeah. Hello?
Yes, we can. We can go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, thank you. So just want to confirm. So from doing this to say business line, quantity sold by business line. Okay, this is revenue. Revenue revenue business type or business line. So look at it. So we already saw from the data to see this particular business line generated the highest revenue for us. So why that woman need to. So it's always good to drill down to know why are some things happening either for positive or negative, so that by the time you want to give your recommendation to your um client, then you'll be able to prefer a better recommendation to say, oh, okay, this business type, this is what you advise from the data set as it may be. Okay, alright, so let's look at this briefly. Then before we go ahead to um um dashboard, so let's insert what we call a filter. So one filter we help you do is it helps you to be able to actually easily look at the interactiveness from this place, which you also see on the dashboard. Slicer please, slicer, not filter, slicer. So we want to insert slicer to our data set. You see, when I click on one of these data about this particular one, I go to insert. So this is where I have my slicer here. So depending on the version you are using. So if you are not seeing it there, when you just search for, you will see what I believe. So this is the slicer. So the slicer is going to bring all the information we have on this pivot chart sheet, this particular worksheet that is having pivots. So region, trade, all of that. So that depends on the one you want to work with. So let me see um the region, let me see the year, month. Let me just see, for example, the one we do not need, we'll bring it out later. We'll remove it. So okay. So another thing is, by the time we are doing all of this, we'll be able to connect. So now you look at even from here, even right from going to your dashboard, if I click on 2014, take note, all information is supposed to so it's only working for revenue now. You see, look at here, revenue 2014, 2015, but all others are still the same. So all we need to do is, there's what we call connection, data connection. So if I right click on this, call report connection. So I want to connect this particular slicer showing my year to all the tables that we have on this sheet. So you have to scroll down, connect, see it. Let me expand it so that we can see everything. Connect, connect, connect. So the essence is, it makes your information interactive, dynamic. Let me put it that way. So I've done that now. If I click on 2015 now, let me reduce the screen of this and see. Um, hold on, let me try and reduce. Okay. So if I click now, you see that all the table and charts, that's the beauty. All the tables and the charts, they will do what? They will change automatically, because why? Is dynamic. So this information here now is just 2015 for all of this table and the chart. If I click on 2014 too, look at it, everything is going to change. Everything is going to change. All this information is 2014. So that's the beauty of slicer. You can use it to look at the information alone, to say, okay, this is what I needed. So all of this. Then under this, so there's how will I want to put it? Slicer setting. So you want to remove information that does not have data, so that it makes your information, your this thing. Yes, remember there was some information here, but since the data are not unique, so I've removed it. So that is the beauty of slicer. You see, you look at, if I click on Monday, you see, so this one too, I still need to do a kind of connection, but let's go to our dashboard. When we get there, anyone we are going to need will definitely be doing all of this. So now, what is the beauty of it? Okay, we should be able to finish within the next few minutes. We spent 1 hour 9 minutes by the timing of the recording. So that was when we started recording. So on the dashboard, we want to just create a simple dashboard for this sales data. Okay. So the first thing is, let's remove the grid line. So grid lines. Okay, from view, grid lines. This is it here. From view, remove the grid lines. Yes, we make it plain. Okay. So from there, let's try and insert and put some shapes and icon. Where are my shapes? Picture. Insert. Okay, shapes. Then okay, let's say this one. We can change the color later. Let me duplicate this in case of wherever I might want to use it. If I'm not using it, I'll remove it. So I can type here to say sales analysis dashboard, depending on whatever name you want to give your reporting. So that's that. I can extend it. I can centralize this. Okay. I can make it bigger and bolder. Let me see 18. 18, not 28. Sales analysis dashboard. So now it's also good to also have in mind what are the things that you want to feature in your dashboard. It's fine. You have already done all of this cooking behind the scene. Okay, I'll need my total revenue. It's fine. Total units sold. If you do not need your average revenue, you might not put it. Okay. Those one will be like card, just like you are doing your Power BI. You want card for this, so we can easily create two small cards for our total revenue. Okay, this is total revenue. Let's say these are total units sold. So let's see how it goes. So now let's say I want to link this information. So once we click on this, okay, let me put insert a text box to it. Text box. There you go. Let me see. Click on this. Come to the formula bar here, equals to, go to your pivot. This is your value, right? It's as much as not putting in. So I need the value for this pivot A3, A3, enter. So A3 is my total revenue. Okay, let me do A4. Let me bring in the value. I can always type in the so now this is my total revenue, right? Total revenue. So it's not as if this text box too is compulsory. I'm just trying to see how I can make it look different on the background shape. You will see if I do for this same one. Now once you click on the edge here, we'll come to our formula bar, then we'll pick this. I want to pick the total unit now. So I don't need this. I'm using the total units sold dashboard. Yeah. So 8 equals to, sorry, you see it. It will still come. So it comes in black and white. So this white is just to change it from the background. So it depends. So this is the total units sold. If I'm correct, total units sold. Good. So it depends on whichever one you want to go with. So it's not a must you put this text in it. You can directly go to this image you created. So all we just need to do with this one is you can change the front. So just as if you want to change the text front. So this is the front. So that's inside. The text front white. So you see it white. So that's that about that. So let me remove this. Let me duplicate this. Yes. Yeah, I can easily change this one too. So I click here now. So my Total revenue is A4 sheet to bring it back for me. But you have to change the content total revenue. Yeah, good. Okay, let's make this 2 bigger. 12. Okay. So what else do we need? Okay, as it goes, we will see it. Okay, let's assume I want to put this my filter, my slicer. Why am I saying filter? Okay, let me bring it in. Okay, so I can decide that I don't want this year. Remove the year trademark. No, the title of the slicer. Let me go to the slicer setting. Name. I don't want the name. I don't want the display header. Just check here. Display header. So I don't want it. Anybody that sees it knows that is here I'm working with. So which is fine. So I can format it here. So depending on which column, since I'm working with deep blue, I can change it here. So look at it now. If I click 2014, you see it's changed, it has changed total revenue for 2014, total revenue for 2015. So lest I forget, I need to indicate in my text here that my total revenue is in what? Billions. Okay, there's no need. It's there already, except if I change it. So it's in naira. If you want to use dollar, I use dollar. Whereas if I have also put it here, look at the formatting that we're looking at here. I say, okay, let me put where's Nigerian naira. This is naira. Okay. So I've added it to it. Let me use this one to format this one. Dashboard. So automatically it has appeared on my dashboard, so I don't need to put this one again. You see now, that's the beauty of it, you connecting all of these things together. So as I'm making any changes here, it's also affecting on the dashboard there. So I just added currency to it and voila, it's out. So now let's now look at what we're doing and still move a bit. Okay, we are good to go. So that's that. Okay, so let me now see. I want to bring in those visuals that we have created. So I said you already have in mind your goals as you are building your dashboard. So with that, you can begin to sketch it before you do it, and you can be doing it. What are the information? What do you want the stakeholder dashboard? Nobody corrected me that my dashboard was not correct. Please let's make this, let's speak when the facilitator is saying what is wrong, please call my attention. I've established the fact that I've not come to teach. We are doing a workshop, we are learning together. Majority of us already know these things, so that's why I say we are learning together. And for those of us that are just learning it, please, when you have questions, please ask. I beg us, please, let's feel free to ask. Okay, all right. I'll do the alignment later. Let me leave that for now. So I want to bring in, okay, uh, let's say your quarterly revenue. Quarterly revenue. So I can bring this in. I can copy it, I can cut it depending on whichever one you want to do. So let me make it align to that space. If the space is not enough, I can always expand this and adjust later. Okay. So likewise, if you don't want to create any background dis thing for it yet, you can just bring everything in. It depends on you. So at the end of the day, we can now give it a general background. So maybe I should just leave it as at that. Let this one still remain. So we brought this. Look at the interactiveness. You see, when I select 2014, it gave me the total revenue for 2014. It gave me total units sold. Units sold does not need currency. Units sold does not need currency. Please. No, 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 no. General number. Aha. So, mm, mm, okay. So, should have corrected now. Yes. So when I put 2015 as well, you see, it changes. Let me move this up a bit. Okay. So that's that about that. Okay, let me make it go in two columns side by side because I might want to put another thing here. So, mm, okay, so what else do I want to bring in? I want to see the yearly contribution, which we already did as a pie chart. Let me put this. I'm still baffled as to why this value is correct here. It's not correct for this revenue, but it's correct for our quantity sold. I'm still baffled at what could be wrong. Is I still need us to rectify it. That's why I say let's work together on it. So yearly contribution. So metals team, maybe I should just pick. So for quantity sold, this is it 49.50. Let me just use this. Let me see if I change this chart to the donut chart, will I still have my correct value? So maybe if that is what is responsible, let me try and see. Donut chart. Okay. So tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ gbọ́rọ̀ Olúwa Nàìjíríà lè kúrò. So okay, let me use this percentage yearly contribution. Please, are we still together? Hello.
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you for those of us that are still with us. Thank you. Please feel free to ask your question where applicable. So we are bringing up our dashboard gradually. Okay, let me take the trend of our monthly contribution. Okay, this is this. Okay. Okay, what else do we need? So let's see, are we connected here? Yes. 2014, 2015. Okay, good. Good. Okay, I said I would like to remove this so that I have just the values, billions. Okay, all right, so let's go. Okay, so what else? Let's see the weekday. So which of the weekdays do we have better revenue and least revenue? So how do we advise them on what to sell on those days? Then how do we improve the days that the revenue is low? So that they can have more value. What are the factors responsible? Okay, you see still linked. So gradually we are having our dashboard. Let me minimize my screen so that we are seeing that they go. Okay, here now I want to bring in another um another slicer. Okay, let me see bring in weekday region. Okay, which region are we having? Remove the grid lines for me. Dashboard. Okay, let me look at my region. Should I make it vertical or horizontal? um Let me make it vertical so that by the time we are looking at it, we are seeing it at a go. So it depends on how you want to build your own. You can make it horizontal, it should be going down. You can make it vertical. So at the end of the minute I will have to extend this, which might be too long. I can leave it at this stage. Okay. It's just that I want us to be able to see it at a glance. That's why I don't want to use horizontal. So this is total revenue by weekday, weekly performance. It depends on how you want to name it to just show what you are trying to pass across. You can say weekly performance, weekly revenue performance, or weekly revenue generated, or whatever. So I'm just using my own simple English. So which region? Have I done region? So I'm picking these two times. I'm supposed to take region, this, and not this region. So which region is doing best and least? So how do we improve the ones that are not doing well? Let me see. Is this still interactive? Yes, it is. One of these value. Yes, it's still interactive. 2014. Okay, still interactive. Okay. So finally, okay, I'm still within our time. The business line. Okay. So advisably from people I have learned from, and which I know some of us might have also heard about it, maximum of 4 to 6 so that our dashboard does not look too clumsy. So maximum 6. So you can look for the key ones that you want to bring in. So like now, we need to let the stakeholder knows the total revenue he has been able to generate for 2014 and 2015. Okay, we want to know the total units they've sold. Fine. Then this slicer is for the year. Okay, in your visuals, you want to tell the person to say this is your quarterly, yearly and quarterly revenue. Okay, so this is the monthly revenue. So we are showing it by line trend. Oh, this is the region, the revenue by your region. Okay, so from there you want to say, okay, this is the contribution each year. So which year did better? So by variance of almost 2%, which might not be up to if we do one decimal place. So we are having 2015 to contribute better compared to 2014. Then your weekdays, you can see Thursday and Friday are the least, so was followed by Sunday. So what's responsible? Obviously we know any sales, people want to rest on Sunday, but there are some people that still come out on Sunday depending on nature of their business. Okay. Then the business line that we are focusing on. Okay, since I'm already using this formatting of putting the data label, let me make it consistent. That's another thing. Then I remove this. So I've said if you want to use the data label by the side there, you can make it consistent. Then you don't need to also put it on this each individual focal point. But if you are using the one for each focal point to show each value, please just remove this one so that your data labeling is kind of looking consistent. Okay, so this is fine. Can use any color that you want. Total revenue by business line. Please let's also indicate that these values are in billions. So another thing is, assuming we know the line of business, we can begin to look for their logo. Okay, we are working for a particular client, you can go and look for their logo and insert their logo maybe on this header. It could be by this left hand side at the header here. Let me zoom this one out, or here. So that the person is looking at it at a glance. Let's now look for one of these slicer to bring in. Okay, let's see if I want to work with region. We'll use here quarter, month. Okay, let me see region. Okay, let me be sure I've been able to link this one. Let me click on next central. Is anything changing? Only the total and average is changing. So let me be able to link this. Right click, report connection. So please remember to always link your slicer to all the reports so that it becomes interactive once you get your dashboard. Or else if I've just copied and put on my dashboard, if I send to anybody and they click on it, the only thing that is going to change is just this total revenue and total units. You will just be surprised that all other values will not change. But with this that I've done now, it's going to change. So click on filter slicer setting. Let me change the column to 3. Let me see. I can now expand this way. I want it to align up here so that we are not taking another space. Yes. Okay. Right click, slicer setting. I don't want to show the header name. It's taking space for me. Okay, this is it. Then with that I can also change format. Click on it, slicer. The one I used for the other one, I think is this one. Okay, so your choice of color is to you. Blue has been one of my favorite color, maybe as a boy. Let me use it that way. So okay, let me minimize. So one thing I also try to do again is so that if peradventure anybody is clicking on it, it does not move. I try to group all the visuals as one. So let me see. Let me first check my alignment before I go too far. Let's see a space here. Let me move this one backward a bit, this one backward a bit, so that I have equally. Let me see design. Design formats. Full. So it's the alignment. It's under format. So align to horizontal or align to vertical or whatever. So I use control key, then I'm selecting all of this. So I want to select everything and see how I can group them together. The essence of this is that one information is not jumping up and down. Yeah, now select now. Yes, okay, still picking this one. Why is this one not picking? Pick. Has it pick everything? Right click group. Let me see. I think two is missing. Let me see. Let me try and move it. Did I duplicate it? Two is missing. This empty space is missing. Okay. So let's see. Did I mistakenly duplicate everything? I think I click on duplicate and it's having a multiple show. Let me undo. Yeah. Okay. Let me see now. Let me see. Okay, it's 1 now. So that's all I want to do. So with this, you are able to build your dashboard and communicate. Okay, let's see. North Central. Good. For North Central, we are seeing the total revenue, total units sold, the quarterly revenue generated. For North Central in 2014, they see 49%, for 2014 49%, 2015 51%. Then the total revenue weekday. You see now, even in North Central, you can see now from general overview, it was showing that Sunday was not doing well. But in North Central, they had better sales. Sorry, let me zoom out so that we can see. In North Central, they had better sales even on Sunday compared to Friday and Wednesday. You can see it. So if we are judging by the overall result, we might not be given the true picture. So that's why it's good at a glance when you have your dashboard like this. Okay, I think it's okay this way. We are seeing everything. We can, let's see Northeast. See, Northeast. In Northeast, 2014 and 2015, 50% yearly contribution. The total revenue is 24.75 billion. This is the total units sold. This is the trend. So for them, May was their peak. If you look at the other time, I doubt if that was for the overall, May was their peak. And then their own peak days of sales is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What are they selling? So let me use the location why. So I'm rounding up now. We are done with our dashboard. Just try to group it and give it a background. So where I stay at Badagry area, so there's a place called Ijanikin. There's a Vespa market there. If you go there, you want to buy like shoes, bears, all these first-hand clothing and correct leather shoes or sandals. They bring their bills Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you have to go early, maybe as early as 7, between 7 and 9. So that's where they have peak of their sales. So for example, just like that, so there will be a particular product that people actually patronize on these particular days in this location. So with this, you are presenting it on a screen to your client. You are telling them, okay, this and this. So what can you do better to ensure that all of. So if you look at Northwest, they have like an evenly. This is called a uniform distribution. Yeah, let me use it this way because they are almost equal from 1.6 to 1.7, 1.8, 1.92. So they are almost equal. So Northwest in terms of the weekdays. But in terms of revenue, November was the highest, their peak, almost 1.1 billion, followed by March. And Q1 of 2015 and Q4 was when they had their peak of sales. So each region have their unique days, months, quarter that their sales is actually going up and down. So why? So what can they do better for other days? So um just a minute, I need to open door for a minute, please. Sorry. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. So my people are back. So these are I'm in the class. I'm coming. Thank you. Okay, sure. So these are some of the things that we might want to show. So any question Any question before I call on Emmanuel and Emeka and Esther to take over? Please, any question? Please, let's go ahead. Any question, please? Any question, please? We're not talking now. Hello? Hello? Esther? Emeka?
Yeah, Oluwatosin, I can
Yeah,
hear you.
so I'm saying any question. I'm done from my end.
Okay.
I want people to ask questions, then you and Esther can take over. Give mommy to put it for you. Give mommy to put it for you.
All right, Tosin, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And thank you for how far you've taken us today. I don't think we have anyone who has any question for now. Or do we have anyone who has questions before we just close out from today's session? If you have any question, possibly you might want to ask or might want to drop it on the chat or maybe on the community group, as in case you can't actually access it now. Because I don't think maybe everyone actually followed. Maybe by the time they are viewing it on their own, they might really want to have one or two things to ask at the end of the day. Maybe by that time they can drop it on the community group.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Others, I can hear Bolaji. You want to say something? Hello, Bolaji. Do you have anything to say? I thought you were muted now. Okay, in the absence um of any question, thank you. We'd like to appreciate everyone for your time this evening. Thank you for coming on board to join today's session. Bolaji, you can unmute yourself if you have anything to say. I can see you raising your hand up.
No, 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 please. That was a mistake. I've lowered it. Thank
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's all together appreciate our facilitator for this evening. Thank you, Tosin. Please, can we all unmute and appreciate our facilitator for this evening?
thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
really
You can see a
appreciate.
round of applause. We can see people clapping in. All right. Tosin, this is all for you. Thank you for your time. Our program, our program lead.